Well, we're back for a new and different kind of Poke Nation, a better looking Poke Nation, I might want to point out, if that's the case, or if that's even possible. Daryl, Heath Schroyer is flying to El Salvador as we speak. He's trying to get basketball to play a summer thing there, so he's going through those things, and that gives us all a break. Believe me, we get a break. It's your treat. Dr. Daryl Burckel is with us while he's still the president of McNeese State University. Doctor, glad to have you. I've been looking forward to this. A lot of things to talk about with you. I want to go back to, first of all, why did you decide to step down now?
Well, you get to a point where you think that you really believe that your span has run out. I think this is leadership in these cases are not lifelong. I really don't believe these are lifelong jobs. And matter of fact, that they think they're being more compressed as time goes on in university presidents. The average life is about 5 years. And I thought at 7 years would be a good time. That it was time for rejuvenation, for I guess another change. I was ready, Jim. I mean, I was ready. And I think it's good for the university, to keep pushing forward. And so I just thought it was the right time for me to maybe turn it over to the next person and just move on.
The big question a lot of people ask me, are you still going to do football?
Yeah.
You still going to referee football games?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
This is a
did
sports
it
show.
And do it after, yeah.
This is a sports show, so we're going to go. We're not going to hit you up with a lot of academic questions.
Okay, good.
But I do want to ask you this: how much change did you have to make in your game plan, and how much did being an athlete help change that game plan when the Hurricanes hit? That was basically you had one set of ideas you wanted to do, and then all of a sudden you got hit with something else.
Yeah. Well, when the storm hit, we were on a path. Before the storm hit, we were on a path in trying to determine how are we going to raise money to rejuvenate our campus. Our campus was tired, in a sense, old and tired, and needed a refresh. Well, you're not going to get those monies through capital outlay. You're just not going to be able to get enough of those monies. We had deferred maintenance issues, but we had to get a refresh on campus. And so the idea that we were working on and we were working toward was to go to the citizens of Calcasieu Parish for a tax, to add a property tax on, so McNeese could maybe get $10 million a year to refresh our campus. Because if we don't do it, the state is not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's going to be. So if we want a campus that is kind of keeping up and staying ahead of the game, then we would have to have that participation. Well, when the storm hit, all that went out the window because there was no way that you could go to this parish and to these citizens for anything like that. But it also, our campus was damaged enough to know that, okay, there's an opportunity here. As we were working through this, we started to see opportunity, not just the devastation, but you started to see opportunity in the repairs that were being done and how that was going to put a new roof on every building of campus. It took a big piece out of here, $20 million worth of repairs out of here, but it also gave us the opportunity to redesign some things that we realized that if we had it to do over again, we would have done it differently. So the administrative offices were not where they are today. We put the administrative offices over there. We did some weight room stuff here on. So, I mean, it gave us opportunities. So I think, with athletics, you come with a different game plan every week depending upon who you play and what their strengths are, and and start to develop your strengths as a team, and you start to look at those strengths and you adjust. Every year during the season, you see teams adjusting not only mid-game but every week as they go through. So we just did that. We saw an opportunity to adjust and to change and to envision a campus that had a much different look to it.
Now we come to athletics, which is your biggest move ever was putting a basketball coach into the athletic director's chair. He has turned a basketball program around from the athletic director's chair. I like to say that he couldn't do from the bench. Yeah. But all of a sudden, he became the perfect salesman, pitchman for what you were trying to do athletically. Yeah. What did you see in that move, and why did you make that move?
Well, what I saw was a person. When I saw Heath, I saw someone who did have all of those qualities you're talking about. all of those, what I want to say, promotional skills, the advertising, the ability to sell. You saw that in him. And so when by looking at that, I realized that he was the right person for this job, even though he may not have thought he was at the time. I knew he could grow into that.
It's a big gamble, though.
It was a big gamble. It was a big gamble, but I saw a person that I knew could grow into it. And if he was interested in doing it, I knew he would work at it very hard. And so I wanted to make sure we also put support around him when we did that. So I had Dr. Wade Roos, who was in the foundation office. Yeah. We'll get to that in the next section. But, I mean, it was important to make sure he had someone that was on the fundraising side to help athletics do the fundraising they needed to have a self-supported budget.
Dr. Daryl Burckel is our guest for the whole segment, and we're going to talk more about the change of the athletic program, not just Heath Schroyer, but the financial part of it after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Whoa, go. Everywhere I go.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
We're back with Dr. Daryl Burckel, kind of winding down your time. We talked about the un-McNeesing of McNeese a long time ago. We talked about some other things, but really getting the finances.
Yeah.
And putting Dr. Roos in that position. What did that mean? Because you guys recreated kind of your business plan for athletics.
Right.
Talk a little bit about what went into that decision and how did that work out?
Yeah, well, we had hired Dr. Roos to be he was the Dean of the College of Business.
Yeah.
And again, I saw in him, just like I saw in Heath, an ability and competencies and talent that was much more than just being the Dean of the College of Business. So we hired Dr. Roos to be our director of our foundation, the vice president of our foundation. And one of the things I wanted to make sure of with Wade when we spoke, I said, listen, we can't disconnect the foundation from athletics. It has to help athletics in their fundraising and coordinate with athletics in their fundraising. Because I think prior to that, we had the foundation that was doing fundraising and athletics was kind of on their own.
And they had three different groups that were all doing it, and it was muddled.
It was very muddled, and it was not very consistent, and donors were very worn out with having so many people coming to them. So I asked Wade to work with Heath, that Wade would work with the budget and work with the business plan, and also work with Heath on coordinating the fundraising. And so they got together and they started to realize, okay, where's our revenue come from? What drives our revenue? What sports drive revenue? What do the budgets look like in every sport? And so it really comes down to the revenue model. What are we going to do to bring revenue into the business? And
How much of that was just getting up to the times what everybody else was doing? Because to me, McNeese was always on. I always said it was on a treadmill. It was doing the same thing over and over again. But you guys went into partnership with the community more than you did fundraising.
We were operating out of the 80s.
Yeah.
We were really operating like we did out of the 80s and had never moved past that. I think Tommy McClellan came the close to trying to move us past that, but didn't move, wasn't able to move far enough or as far as he would like probably to have gone. But we realized that we had to change. We had to disconnect from what we were doing in the past and look forward and what are the ways we need to operate. And he's been very good about that. And, if it doesn't move, he slaps a sponsorship on it.
Oh, yeah.
But he realized that if you're going to have revenue, and one of the other things we did is I reformulated the McNeese Athletic Foundation, knowing that we needed a vehicle to be able to run all of these things through for athletics. So we started that back up, and then they've made use of the McNeese Athletic Foundation to do the fundraising out of. And so I think it's been a good plan. I had the two right people in the right place, the right talent there, and you've seen what it's done.
And also, you guys, and I said this, you started with the caravan.
Yeah.
And kind of went out into the community. You had lost touch a little bit before you got here to the community itself.
Yeah, I think
you
so.
made them partners in all of this.
Yeah.
And you made it to where you went out and got also big sponsorship. It wasn't just the nickel and dime and that you always went to. You went out and got big sponsorship. Now we have basically everything being sponsored now, and everybody's name is all over the place.
Right.
But that's what it is now. That's what college sports is. What did you see about that, and what kind of at first, how did it take to get that kind of turn?
Well, the first thing we had to do, we had a third party, Learfield Sports, that was doing all of our advertising and doing all of our sponsorships. And what we realized was that, we had a fixed amount that we received from them. And basically everything above that, they pretty well kept. And what was happening was that our sponsors were not responding to that because they wanted to write a check to McNeese. They didn't want to write a check to a third party. They wanted the money. They wanted 100%
to see where the money went.
They want all of their money to go to McNeese, not a part of the money. But so we realized that, listen, we can do that. Now, it took a lot of back office and a lot of work to be able to fulfill everything, but we realized that we could go out and sell these sponsorships. And that's where Heath and Wade got together and came up with a plan to advance our sponsorships and to advance our fundraising through those sponsorships through the McNeese Athletic Foundation. And so we got rid of Learfield and we took that over.
But you also got your coaches and your administration out there to meet the public,
People, right.
So that you became more than
of a
just
face,
McNeese,
right?
you became a face.
That's right. We wanted to connect with our constituents. The last thing you want to do is ask for money and they don't even know who you are. So we wanted to put our coaches in front of them to talk about their programs and what they were doing and the impact that they were making on student athletes and where they were wanting to take their programs. And then we would talk about our successes. I mean, we were having good success, Look, McNeese was the program up to 2015.
Yeah.
We were the program in football. We were the football program. I mean, we had a string of wins there. We couldn't translate that into the playoffs, but we were really, really good. And then we have hit a dry spell for the past 9 years. But I think that's going to change this year, and we're going to come out of that. But it meant getting our folks out into the community, having a front face, which was Heath Schroyer out there, and promoting our coaches and our programs.
When we come back with another segment with Dr. Burckel, we're going to talk about how it's kind of changed and maybe a little Will Wade effect on everything. When we come back on Polk Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
This is our final segment with Dr. Burckel. This is the last interview we're going to do with Poke Nation.
This is it.
I remember the first time you were on. We talked about what you wanted to accomplish, how you wanted to turn sports around. A lot of people get a lot of credit for this. You probably haven't gotten enough credit for putting the right people in the right place. But that happens when you're that
That's
head.
what matters, yeah. That's right.
How proud are you, because you played football here?
Yeah.
Football hasn't. You told me the one time we were here, you said the one disappointment was you hadn't turned football around yet.
Yeah.
But now you see where they've had the best recruiting class in a long time.
Yeah.
Basketball is getting all this people coming here.
Mm-hmm.
Women's basketball, everybody seems to want to come to McNeese all of a sudden again. What does that do for you, and how much pride do you take in that?
Well, you know, it makes me really happy about where I think we're going to be next year and in future years. I really believe football is going to turn. I think we have the right coach. Look, when he came here, the whole portal thing was new, and you had to figure that out, and you had to get a philosophy of what you were going to do. And people are still trying to figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
But I think, you know, they've made some changes, and they have a person in charge of player personnel, which is taking a lot of burden off of him. In terms of recruiting.
And he's in the portal every day.
He's in the portal. You have someone every day, and also recruiting your players every day to make sure they stay, right? And so you have someone that's almost working as a GM inside of your organization. And I think that's been a big move, and I think we're seeing some benefits from that. And I really believe we're going to see it on the field next year. I really do. I'm really confident about that. And,
are you still going to be a fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you played here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, you know, to see what happened in basketball, it just shows you what can happen and what kind of excitement builds when McNeese does well in the big sports. Now, look, our spring sports have done well for many years, and we have great support there. You know, I'm always proud to talk about, you know, what's been happening in baseball and softball. And look at tennis has taken off.
Yeah.
Our volleyball is highly competitive. And track, Gilroy and his crew always seem to be in the mix. I mean, they've gotten better every year. So I think overall, you know, I think every sport on campus is getting better, and over the next few years is really going to be competitive in every one of those.
When you look at, we talked about you always talked about when next time the train came around to move up.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to move up as much as they're going to come back to you.
Yeah.
As you see the kind of changing landscape going on, is McNeese positioned in your mind to make that step this time?
Yeah, I think once we get football stabilized and basketball where it is today, I think our other sports are ready. You know, it's a big jump, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big jump in competition. Sam is realizing that.
Yeah.
That you jump up. It's a kind of a competitive.
It's
curve.
a wake-up call.
Yeah, it's a competitive curve that you have to adjust to. So I think we're ready. You know, I think we'll be ready to analyze any opportunity that comes and make sure it's a good fit for us. Not just anything, but it's a good fit for us. And who knows where this industry is going. I don't know what the business model is going to look like in the future. You know, will there still be money games out there for football teams? I mean, what does that look like? Because that has a big impact on when you start thinking about moving up and where you go. But it's going to be interesting to see. I'm interested to see where all of this falls and plays out, because it's a much different world than I had ever dreamed about.
When you look back at that year where you guys were deciding between the WAC and the Southland, and how close you were to going to the WAC. You were in hours of going to the WAC.
Yeah.
Now you see that falling apart. What do you think about the Southland Conference survival? Because now all of a sudden you got people wanting to get back in it.
Yeah, I think we're a 14 to 16 team conference now. You know, I mean, I think
you're going to be close.
Yeah, we'll have divisions, right? I mean, we'll be able to have divisions, and I think we're going to be a highly competitive conference. I think the best days for the conference are ahead of us. Everyone's excited to be in it. I mean, everyone understood where we were and we were on the brink of basically dissolving the Southland.
Oh, within hours.
Within hours of that.
If you would have signed to the WAC, the
then
conference was done.
Sam left and New Mexico State left, and we said that, this is going to fall apart. We knew that was going to fall apart and that they wasn't committed to what they told us they were committed to. So we didn't want to have any part of that. And I think being back in the Southland has been very, very good for us. And again, we just keep our powder dry, and no telling where you might go in the future. But right now, we're heavily committed to the Southland and to what the Southland is bringing to us.
Do you worry about, because you played on this level, do you worry a little bit about this level and being able to financially be sustainable with the competition of NIL money, with the fact that so many things have changed without the money games?
Yeah, I worry about that. I mean, we struggle already with budget, then you throw NIL in there.
Yeah.
And so to be competitive at a D1 level, to try to be competitive there, it's going to take NIL money to do that. In terms of our other sports, all of our sports, I get concerned because I just don't know where it's going and how sustainable this model is. I just don't know what the sustainability is. And I just hate the idea that we're almost, in a sense, divorcing a college education and the student athlete apart from one another.
Well, they're no longer. They're here to get money and to move on.
Yeah, and I think that the greatest benefit was that a student came here because they love the game, they love the play, but they were having the opportunity to get a higher education that would be something that would be better for their lives in the future, and have the opportunity to play a sport that they loved. And I think we are missing that. And I think that's going to be one of the great losses if we keep going down this road.
Yeah, and keeping kids kind of connected to the rest of campus community
Absolutely.
is getting tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
All right, with NIL money out there, do you have a year of eligibility left? You want to come back and play one? grab some quick cash?
I'll take it. I don't know if I could make warm-ups, Jim.
What are you going to do now? Do you know what you're going to do yet?
Yeah, I'm stepping down and I'm going back to the classroom. I'm going to go back and teach in the accounting department like I was 30-something years before I took the presidency. So yeah, I'm going to still be here, and I'm going to still teach and be connected with our students and work to make our accounting department the best we can be.
So what's your proudest moment athletically for this as you leave?
As I leave, I think we're set up to succeed for the future. I really do. When I first came in, I was really worried that our model it wasn't working. We were crashing. We really were in a way that there was no way out, if we kept doing the same thing we were we were not going to survive. So I think the best thing, the proudest moment, I think, is that we put a model together in a group of people together that are going to help us succeed into the future and help us have us on a stable ground for McNeese Athletics.
Well, you have left it in a better place than when you found it, that's for sure.
That was the goal.
Dr. Daryl Burckel, exiting president, giving out governor, and I got to believe you endorsed Wade Roos, didn't you?
Yeah.
To take that, so
yeah.
It will continue on. Thanks for your time, Dr.
Thank you, Jim.
Yep. We'll come back. We'll talk baseball after this on Polk Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. The feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Whoa, go. Everywhere I go.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
We're back on Polk Nation for a little baseball talk. The tournament began actually hours ago. McNeese opened up at 9 a.m. today against Northwestern State as the 5 seed in the Southern Conference tournament. Northwestern State is the 4 seed. They lost 2 out of 3 to Northwestern State here at McNeese earlier in the year. Taylor, do your own last name. I'm not going to. How do you pronounce your last name?
Riemersma.
Riemersma. Taylor Riemersma. And he is the Sports Information Director of Baseball. Taylor, are you excited about being up at 9 in the morning?
I don't know if I'm excited to be up at probably set my alarm at 6, but to be in the tournament is a great opportunity. It'll be fun to cover.
Is it?
Oh, it always is.
It is. The good thing about being at 9 a.m. is if it rains, you don't get the long day.
Exactly.
You get it over with and get playing. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this McNeese team. Had patches of good, patches of bad, played well I think they've won 8 of their last 11, something like that. Really kind of playing better now. What's the difference for this baseball team?
I think really as a unit, they're starting to get healthier. They're starting to play better together. At the beginning of the season, we thought we'd have Hollins and Abear in the lineup.
Elliot Abear and Braley Hollins, yeah.
Yep. Elliot Abear and Braley Hollins, and they had some injuries that kept them out towards the beginning of the season. But now we're seeing them start to move in, and Hollins is usually in about that 5 or 6 spot. Abear, I believe, is 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And they're just strong. They come out there offensively. They know what they're doing on the field, and they play strong defense. So really just having those two people as a unit and with the team chemistry, you've seen it really play out well as we've won 3 of the last 4 conference series.
Yeah, and avoided the sweep this week at Nichols when Nichols really had a lot to play for. They were playing for the championship on the last day. So that's a big win. Yeah, so that's a big win. But also, the interesting thing about a tournament is this. Weird things happen. We saw it in softball. When these things start to happen, pitching-wise, you guys have used a lot of pitchers in a lot of different spots. Do you think that helps you as you go into the tournament?
I think it does. It helps give a different variety, a lot of experience to all these different players. I know our starter, Zach Voss, he started off as the Friday night guy, and then he shifted into a little bit of a reliever role, if I'm remembering right, mid-season. And then he went and came back to our Friday night guy. It really allowed a lot of other pitchers to be able to have the opportunity to step up, get that experience. So we've had, I want to say, probably 5 or 6 different starting rotations.
And been in different roles.
Yes.
And they've all been, because you could throw at any point in time in a tournament.
Yeah, Caleb Stramiska, he was one of our relievers. Now he's in a starting role. Cameron Lejeune, he's been between starter, reliever, starter. Ty Abraham, same thing. They all really know where they can and can't, where they can go.
Yeah, it's an interesting group in the fact that they've had that experience and all that. All right, your first year in baseball. This has been your first year here at McNeese. You came over from Corpus Christi, also been at Nebraska. I was kidding about the watch, by the way. You could have left the watch on.
No, I'll take it off.
But how much fun have you had? Have you enjoyed it? And
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. This is actually already the most wins that I've been a part of with a team. And that's always fun to be a part of. It'll be my 3rd conference tournament, and I really feel strong about this group. It'll be fun because we play Northwestern State, and then also on our bracket is UIW and Lamar. So it'll be interesting, and I think we have a good chance against any of them.
Taylor, getting ready for baseball. The conference tournament will be going on all week at Hammond. That's Hammond, America, in case you're wondering. And also, Taylor will be getting married in the summer, so our thoughts go out with him, too, as much as well. We'll see you next time on Polk Nation.